So before we get into the ins and outs of copywriting itself, I think it's worth examining an effective campaign from the past. So we're going to look at the campaign for the film Paranormal Activity, the first one that came out in 2009. So I know this is an older film, but I think it's a really great example of what effective copy can do. Its production cost was very low, only $15,000, which is pretty unheard of for a film that is as big as it is. And then as you can see, it did extremely well in the total box office gross from a $15,000 investment. The franchise gross that it spawned so far is worth almost $1 billion. And then I know this is over 12 years old, but I'm examining it because it's a great example of what out of the box thinking and effective positioning can do for an overall campaign. So let's look at the core components of this project. It was an effective concept and genre. Horror always sells well, especially if it's really good. It was low budget, so they had a lot of room to take risks and try new things. The film was purchased by DreamWorks after it first premiered, and then Paramount, which owned DreamWorks, gave the film to 12 US college towns in a very limited release. So, the obstacles that this project faced: it was a really small film, which meant it had a smaller marketing and distribution budget than Paramount's bigger movies. It had no big stars or pedigree, which is usually tantamount to box office success. And social media was a lot less used for advertising than it is today. So, what was the solution to overcome these obstacles and make the film a success? First off, 11 of the 12 college towns were selling out, so it was obviously doing very well. And then the writer and director, Oren Peli, invited audiences to demand it via promotional platform called Eventful on his website. So that line, "demand it," is a really effective example of great positioning, and you'll see why, because became the first ever major studio movie to virally market a film. And then as it started to get more demands, Paramount promised to everyone that it would do a nationwide release if the film received 1 million demands, and then it did. So the next steps: the film had new positioning. The "demand it" line sort of defined Paranormal Activity because it was becoming this word of mouth sensation that people were loving and everyone else wanted to see it. So they used still standard but effective horror taglines: "Don't see it alone," "What happens when you sleep," in their marketing materials, which is good, but could apply to a lot of horror movies. So then other copy that was showing up in campaign and marketing materials were the "Demand It" line. The UK trailer said, "Dare you experience the US phenomenon and experience it yourself." So let's take a look at the trailer for Paranormal Activity.
High def camera on. My girlfriend Katie, she thinks there's something in the house. I don't know.
You believe me, right?
I think we're gonna have a very interesting time capturing whatever paranormal phenomena is occurring or is not occurring. Windows are locked, doors are locked, alarm is on. Hearing a weird sound.
Something's here. I feel it breathing on me.
There's footsteps in, but there's no footsteps out.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
If you do try to play games with it, that's inviting it in.
Jeez, looks like something big here.
It's not the house. It's me.
You cannot run from this. It will follow you.
I'm in control.
You're not in control. What's happening to me?
This thing left a message.
If it's not a ghost, what is it?
Okay, so that trailer. So as you can see, that "demand it" line shaped the whole way the trailer was positioned. The copy in the back end of the trailer was "experience it for yourself." And then after that, at the button, they showed the "demand it" line again. So I think the thing that this really does, and the key takeaway here, is that it spoke directly to the audience. It gave control to the audience, and that made everyone want to experience this movie. So this positioning obviously caused more buzz because people were seeing other people in the theater reacting to it. And I think before that time, especially, you never saw trailers that showed the audience reacting to the movie. And then obviously it became the success that it is. So some other main takeaways from this: effective positioning is essential in sort of shaping an overall campaign. Um, this one created a really unique identity for itself among all the other horror movies that come out every single year. And it made it that special small movie that you had to request to see if you wanted to see it. This also showed an understanding of the audience. Horror fans are some of the most devoted movie fans that you will find out there. And giving them control over what movies they could see or request to see is huge in an industry where usually audiences have no control over what comes out. It spoke to the audience's emotion in addition to all the other lines. It gave them control, as we said, and it was positive, honest, and authentic. Nothing about that was a lie about the movie. Nothing about it was derogatory about anything else. It was just exactly what the movie was. This small, scrappy film that sort of made its way to the top, and that is a great success story in my opinion. So here are some other campaigns we're going to examine in this course. We don't have to go through all of this right now, but just so you can see that we're going to cover a lot of other campaigns and copy and strategy to give you a better overall sense of what copywriting can do.